Welcome to the forecast. To my right, we have AP18 Alex. How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
And to my left, we have GW himself. Garrett, how you doing?
Doing good.
This is the Wednesday Comics Forecast. My name is Marvin. We're telling you the comic books coming out for November 21st, 2018, the day before Thanksgiving, the day before you eat that turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. First, from Image Comics, here we go. We have East to West number 40. This is the elusive Jonathan Hickman, Nick Dragrada. Alex, I think both me and you have a clue what's going on here. I haven't read it for a little bit. We stacking them up?
I think I'm on issue. I think I'm caught up, so I've got issue 39 to read. I was telling Marvin before the show, actually, that I think I'm just going to wait for this whole book to wrap up its last, 6 issues, 5 issues, whatever it is, and I'll just binge read them all, and then we can talk about it, because it's just, I have no clue what's going on. This book looks great all the time. The story is interesting, but it's kind of wishy-washy on even if I'm excited for it.
Should we use this time to go back and catch up?
If you have the time to, by all means, do it. I don't.
I've done it already. Don't you remember I told you 10 issues ago?
I've binge read up through 1 through 19. And so, I mean, I could probably start over again at the second year or the start of the second year and work my way forward.
Well, we can try. That's the only thing we can do right now. Middle West, number 1. This is Scotty Young. Jorge Cardona, Mike Huddleston on that cover. The lands between the coasts are vast, slow to change, and full of hidden magic. Mistakes have been made in this new ongoing series that unwitting adventurer searches for answers to quell a coming storm that knows his name. From Scotty Young and Jorge Cardona comes a tale of Abel, the young boy who must navigate an old land in order to reconcile his family's history. Gary, you getting this book?
Yeah, absolutely I am. Scotty Young has been a great writer, with Bully Wars and Deadpool. And then I did look at the preview for this, and the art style looks really awesome. And, I think its strong suit is going to be the art for sure, because I could tell that Scotty Young's letting the artist do a lot of the storytelling.
Sorry there. I was lighting a candle. Rumble number 9. This is John Akurta and Dave Rubin. Things Remote. Alex, Rumble, this is the second series. How's it going so far? Number 9.
So at issue 7, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is a book that I need to keep getting. No, sorry, issue 6. I have read issue 7. I have issue 8. Haven't read issue 8. I've read issue 7, and it actually reinvigorated my excitement for this book. It got away from the weirdness that it was, and it got into the weirdness that it is now. And it's a weirdness that I can get on board with. I know that's a lot of weirdness in 2 sentences, but the first series was so strong. This is one of those books I'm afraid to jump off of, because I did jump off of book 1 and I jumped back on. That I know if I do drop it, I'm going to get back on it again. It's a lot of confusingness in this whole spiel, but it's getting better.
Dark Horse Comics. Here we go. Black Hammer, Age of Doom. Number 7. There's Darkseid on the cover. Jeff Lemire, Rich Tommaso. Ooh, a new artist in this one. As Colonel Weird tries to figure out the new world he's found himself on, the character he's met explains not only their origins, but potentially the origins of all things. Weird time is running out, and the events of this issue will change the way he sees the world forever. Garrett, what do you think? It looks like it's going to be a one-shot kind of in the past, explaining things. Rich Tommaso.
Tommaso's on issue 6.
This is I think it's a 2-parter or a 3-parter, yeah.
What's up?
So this is the new little arc that you're getting.
Oh, he was on 6.
Tommaso
okay.
was on 6.
Okay.
With the bug guy. And now this is the next part of it.
The Weird. What do you think about Colonel Weird?
I think with issue... yeah, you're creepy. With issue 5, we had gotten so much further into the story, and I think they're using issue 5 as a way to propel the series forward. But so much so that when you get to issue 6, you're kind of let down because this huge plot reveal just happens, and then basically issue 6 is Colonel Weird on his own adventure dealing with stuff. It's like, I get why they do it, because you're trying to build suspense to the final act of the story, but I'm kind of being Rich Tommaso's art's really great. The story is still really good, and I'm sure once we see further issues in the future, it's going to all make sense. But I think right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't like the, hey, keeping you at arm's length because we want to just get a couple extra comics in there, a couple extra issues. So I don't know. It's good, and I'm excited to see what happens next this arc because the cliffhanger of the last issue was really cool. But I'm also kind of like, really? Kind of seems like filler almost.
I think my thing is I would think it was filler if it wasn't from Jeff Lemire, where at least I know that Jeff has the plan put out. And I think that's maybe one reason that issue 5 kind of bugged me is like, what the hell is going on? But I think Jeff knows what he wants. And I think he knows how to guide us. And you're right, this does seem a little out there. But I actually really enjoyed issue 6. I thought that was super strong coming from that weak issue of 5.
You thought issue 5 was weak?
Yeah, because that wasn't that was the one them all talking about. Oh yeah, we're on our spaceship. Issue 4 was amazing, but issue 5 was kind of like, I could live without it. I mean, where they were telling me everything straight up, I was like, oh, that's not what I want. It kind of ruined the curtain for me. And so at least 6 is back to being kind of an effed up book that I found really enjoyable.
Alex, you're telling me you don't like it Paula Abdul style, straight up.
Of course.
IDW Comics, GoBots #1. This is Tom Shalil and Tom Shalil doing the art. Also, GoBots have changed our way of life. Leader 1 is a self-aware fighter jet on a hostage rescue mission with his partner, Commander Nick Burns. Scooter is a personal transport and best friend to undergrad A.J. Foster. Turbo is Manhunter's transforming race car in the hottest sport in America, GoBot Racing. Psykill is the champion of the illegal underground GoBot Fighting League, a sophisticated sci-fi epic from the visionary creator that brought you Transformers versus G.I. Joes. They say they're here to help us, but are they here to replace us? Alex, I know I just... GoBots, was that something you ever watched, or were you a Transformer guy?
I was neither. I never watched GoBots, and I never really got into the Transformers
GoBots
realm.
were the thing when you couldn't afford a Transformer. GoBots were cheaper, so you got those. You never got a GoBot in your life? All right, I guess just me.
If I did, I don't know I have them.
Yeah, I think I for a while thought they were the same thing. I mean, when you're a parent, you give your kid something and say, hey, it's a Transformer. And then eventually you find out it's not a Transformer. Been lied to. But if anybody likes GoBots, go ahead and check that out. New #1. Here we go. Sarukaban Turbo #1 of 4. Here's a little mini. Salvian Rumberg, Victor Santos on the art. Shelby and her 3 best friends rule the street of Brooklyn, and everyone in the neighborhood knows not to mess with the Sabuki tribe. Inspired by the Japanese girl gangs of the 1970s, the teenagers ride scooters armed with golf clubs and cash from selling drugs, and terrorizing their classmates, parents, and anyone who dares to defy them. When they attack a classmate who hasn't paid what she owes, things start to get messy, and not in a fun way. So this is coming out. I'm going to check it out. 4-issue mini. Actually looks pretty cool. TMNT, Urban Legends #7. Gary Coulson, Frank Fosco, Alex. How's Urban Legends going?
Issue 6 may have been one of the best issues I've ever read. Had nothing to do with the Ninja Turtles being Ninja Turtles. It was Mikey is babysitting April and Casey Jones's kid. It was amazing. I loved it so much. So I'm super amped for issue 7. And I think this is one of those books that, being a lifetime Turtle fan, either has the option of breaking my spirit or at least giving me this fun, what if, not necessarily a what if, but it is a what if the Turtles lived this life. I love this. This is amazing. And those Eastman covers are always spectacular.
Here we go. DC Comics. Actually, first Vertigo here. DC's relaunch of Vertigo. American Carnage #1. This is Brian Hill, Leonardo Fernandez. New thrilling crime saga from the writer of Wildstorm, Michael Cray, and also poster, right, Garrett? And
Yep.
The artist of the Old Guard, disgraced FBI agent Richard Wright, is offered a chance for redemption when his old mentor sends him undercover to infiltrate a white supremacy group believed to be responsible for the death of a fellow agent. So they announced Vertigo was getting relaunched with a bunch of books last year, I believe. And this was one of them. I think there was maybe 3, maybe 4 that I had my eye on. And this was the one at the top where I was like, I am really interested. I like Brian Hill. And the story is like a political, it's like a real, it's FBI undercover. Like the whole thing about it speaks what I want to read. So I am definitely checking this out. Dean White on colors too. This thing's got it all the way. I'll check that out. Batman number 59. Tom King McElhenney. Caught between Batman and his unseen enemy. The Penguin has to think on his feet to avoid being taken down by either side. If he chooses one way, he goes to jail. If he chooses the other, he ends up dead. Then again, the choice seems obvious. Is Batman ready for a new kind of avian sidekick? Garrett, what do you think? Batman number 59.
I really enjoyed 58. I think the use of Penguin in that story, plus kind of the anticipation of, Bane pulling the strings behind the curtain. The book is really, really becoming, how do I say it? It's just becoming more of a thriller, I would say, because we know Bane's in the background. We know Penguin is probably one of his minions, and like the Penguin at the end of the last issue did something pretty drastic. I don't know as necessarily as a show of trust between Bruce, Batman, I mean, but more so like kind of showing that he's willing to be on his side, but he did it in a really deranged way. So I think, this is part 2 of probably a 3-issue arc. Pretty excited to see what happens next, and I think, slowly over the course of the next 40 issues of the series, we're going to see more Bane involvement, and so I'm pretty pumped for that.
What Garrett always says, Injustice number 2, Annual 2, I bet he loves that cover. Do you, Garrett?
I do, and let me talk. Okay, this one I'm going to give my final thoughts on because it is the finale of the series. Yep. So everything's been coming to this. I heard a couple months back that the series was ending, and wow, I can't believe that basically 40 issues came out with Injustice 2. Injustice 1 was 5 years worth of content. So what a great run. It's going to be sad to see it to go, but I'm glad I get the ending as an annual. But I know that as soon as Injustice 3 rolls around, there'll be a new 5-year comic coming around. So very sad to see it go. But again, if you're a really big fan of the DC universe, but you don't want to care about continuity or anything like that, this series would be for you because it's just a one-off story where, yes, a lot of DC heroes die, but they don't come back, and if they do, I mean, it's whatever the fuck they want to do. So definitely think you should all check it out. But if you're a continuity buff, you don't necessarily have to read this one.
There we go. Injustice 2. Justice League 12, Drown Earth, James Tynion IV, Fraser Irving. Who still gets this book?
I think we both do, don't we?
Yeah, I still get it.
Hey, Alex, is your favorite artist on this book, Fraser Irving? What do you think?
Oof, it's going to be messed up then. I still remember that issue of Uncanny X-Men, and I was like, oh my god, this is garbage. Showed it to Marvin. Marvin's like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So, you know what? JL is one of those books that I realize, we say it every time, it's not amazing as it should be, and the only problem right now is that it's part of, Drowned Earth. It's like, yeah, that's exciting, but the only thing that was a plus on JL, 11, was that Francis Manapul did the art, and that art looked spectacular. I mean, I gotta give that man credit. He still knows how to make a book look amazing. But I think the story is just lackluster for me. I'm waiting for us just to do a Justice League book, no pun intended, justice. I want something enjoyable. I want this team to feel like a team. Bruce Wayne's got them living piss kicked out of him. He's all shattered. And I don't know. I think, unfortunately, I want JL to be a good book, and it just never seems to be that way.
It has potential, I think. But again, I think you're right, Alex. Like being thrown into an event, like you barely established yourself as your own book. Now you're doing some crazy huge event, and it's about Aquaman. I'm like, it just kind of seems like there's Aquaman fatigue when it comes to events. Because like we had with New 52, we had, what was it? I can't remember what it was called.
I remember it was Ocean Master did something. It was Battle of the
Throne of Atlantis.
Water or something.
But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Aquaman just gets overused for like events, and like this one, the premise behind it, I was like, okay, like it's like, I just felt it kind of boring, and like if it wasn't for the art, it definitely would have taken a hit. So I don't know, issue 9 I really enjoyed when it was kind of a little bit more focused on character development, but now it's back to the big holy shit world's ending things, and I'm like, okay, like hopefully after this it gets better, so it's...
I'm wondering how much this issue is going to have to be with Drowned Earth, because issue 11 ended with the League of Doom showing up to wherever Bruce is at with baby Starro.
Yep.
Starro, right?
Yep.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking of the Pokemon Starro, and I thought that's not the right name. Anyway, so we'll have to see. This issue might actually be pretty good. Looking by that cover, you got League of Doom kicking the shit out of Batman, so it could be pretty good. Legion, sorry, not League.
Justice League Dark number 5, James Tynion IV, Daniel Sampre, Juan Aparan, and Nicola Scott on the cover. Wonder Woman's Magic Act banned. The DCU's Magical Continuity Collective Community collectively freaks out and forbids Wonder Woman, the JLD Dark Team, from meddling in magic anymore after the disastrous events of the Witching Hour storyline. The team seeks refuge in the only place they can think of, Detective Chimp's inherent magic realm of Myra, but not everyone is happy to bow to the new Nightmaster. So how can things get worse from the sorcery super team? One word, dragons. Garrett, what do you think? So I guess the whole Witching Hour thing's done, and we move on to the next thing?
Yeah, pretty disappointed in this book. I think you should never, ever, ever have your book thrown into an event that early in its infancy as a series. I feel like all the character development I learned before that event is just kind of washed away from my mind. Like, this event shook everything up, and yes, they were hoping you'd get it, but not everyone wants to get your little mini events. So I'm pretty bummed to come back into this, and it's probably going to be confusing to readjust, but hopefully in a couple issues it'll all make sense again. So I do like those characters, and the art style is really cool, so I do want to keep getting this book, but it's going to depend on how much they tailor to people that didn't read their event. So who knows?
I think JLD is almost on the list of a book that I might move somewhere else or maybe just drop altogether, because I'm almost at that point, I don't know if I care. I mean, there's some interesting characters. I loved Upside Down Man. I thought that was a great character choice. I guess I want to there's so many other supernatural villains or supernatural animals or creatures or what have you that they could have us adventuring with or running into. I see there's a dragon on this issue's cover, at least something. Oh, that's pretty cool. But what is there really to keep me enticed other than the few characters that I like? And I realize that's why I get most of these books, but there has to be a little bit more than just that.
I think the biggest attractor on this series for me is Wonder Woman. Like, she's in so many other books. She does not need to be in this book. Like, anytime I hear her whine, like, hey, I deal with magic too, it's just like, okay, cool. Like,
I can't wait for me to read this issue and her to go, I do magic too. And I'm like, oh.
Well, that's what it's like. Every time she's like, I don't think people understand that I have magic in my past as well. And it's like, okay, cool. You're also one of the Trinity, and you have your own book, and you're on the Justice League. Like, I feel like I don't need any new character development, at least in her magic abilities. But I want to know more about Zatanna and Swamp Thing and all these characters that don't have their own book, but they're being sidelined because Wonder Woman's like, well, I have hope, and I'm like strong, and I can fly, but my magic is like, I don't know. I'm just like, stop whining. Like, who cares? You have such a huge power set. Do you really need to have magic included? Like, I don't understand.
See, I always assumed that she was just like the heavy hitter, that she didn't have to have any magic. She was just the one that did have magic in the background or has dealt with mystical creatures, and that's why they wanted her. So I agree. I don't care for the whininess of, I have magic too. It's like, no one cares. You're supposed to be the heavy hitter. You're supposed to be the leader along with Zatanna.
Right.
Moving on. By the way, I enjoy Wonder Woman in that book. I don't know what these two are talking about. Nightwing number 53. Scott Lobdell, Travis Moore. Garrett, you getting this still? Alex not getting this, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I am. It's pretty awesome. The end of the last issue, basically since Dick got shot in the head, Grayson.
Excuse me, Rick.
Yeah, he's Rick. But at the time he got shot, he was Dick Grayson. Now, Rick Grayson, he's basically stopped being Nightwing. But in his interim as not being Nightwing, some cops have taken upon themselves. They found Nightwing's bunker, basically. And so 4 cops are dressing up as Nightwing from all different iterations of his costume and are fighting crime in Bloodhaven. So a concept I thought would be kind of like weak has actually been really cool because it's 4 police officers donning Nightwing costumes and sweeping up crime in all of Bloodhaven. So it's cool to see a team of Nightwings, and then Rick Grayson is just trying to remember who he is and having Jason Bourne PTSD fighting dreams. So I don't know. I do like certain parts of the story, but I'm still trying to figure out why was it important to have him get shot in the head. I know it's to screw with Bruce's psyche and the Batman title, but Nightwing is a pretty big important character, and I just want to know how this it does affect him, but what's the overall plan with this gunshot wound to the head?
Sideways number 10, this is Dan DiDio, Grant Morrison, Kenneth Rockfort on the art. Garrett, how was the first issue with Grant Morrison? Is it good here? Sideways?
Yeah. He he brought some things back from his Superman run, Superman included, and it was really, really good. It's just fun having Grant Morrison back on a book again. That he's always planting seeds for the future, and he did that so much in the annual that was before this issue, so I can't wait to read this issue also, because I think if there's one type of character that Grant Morrison likes to write, it's one that he can, further the history on, change things up a little bit, but also he doesn't want to deal in the current. He wants to plan for the future. So super pumped to read Sideways. And Kenneth Rockefort's back on.
Let me understand. It's okay that Superman's in this book, but Wonder Woman's in too many books.
But no, this isn't. This is Action Comics Superman from Grant Morrison's New 52 run. This is not the Superman. It's a multiverse Superman. So different.
Very convenient.
Not the Wonder Woman that is dating Steve Trevor. Is the Princess of Themyscira, is all about hope and prosperity. But yeah, she has magic.
Astonishing X-Men number 17, Matthew Rosenberg, Greg Land. Alex, 2 questions. You still getting this book? 1.
Yes, I technically am still getting it. Have I read it? No.
What's with Havoc? You look at his headpiece there. Isn't this supposed to be part of his costume? It looks like he's wearing something on his head, though.
See, now that's how I always understood, is that it was part of his costume, but it does look like he's wearing a crown, which wouldn't make any sense because that doesn't amplify his power since his power comes from his chest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
So I don't think I think the last one of these I've read was the annual. Annual was, I think, okay. Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. So I still got one other issue to read. It's fine, but I think this is going to be a book that I need to be dropped because I don't look forward to it.
Well, that's good. If you're looking to get X-Men book, that's not the one then, I guess. X-Men Red, all the way.
If you guys listened to my spiel last week on the Gauntlet, on the forecast, don't get any of the X-Men. Marvin told me that they're coming out with 6 more books, and no one gives a shit.
Immortal Hulk number 9, yeah, they are. Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, Martin Simmons, Carl Creel was just trying to live, but sometimes trying isn't enough. Now, to save the life he built for himself and maybe everything else, Carl Creel has to do the impossible. The Zorby Man has to kill the Immortal Hulk. 2 things here. Garrett, first off, when's Marvin going to learn that those aren't bullet points? That's just one paragraph. And they just broke up each sentence to a bullet point. 2, what do you think? It sounds like maybe it's finally going back to just being Hulk versus something else. Like they're chasing down Immortal Hulk instead of being scientist or whatever that conspiracy thing is?
Well, to answer your first question, maybe they do the bullet points to be new reader friendly because new readers can't read huge paragraphs. And to answer your second question, this book has taken a hit, I think. It started out so strong, focusing on the horror of Bruce Banner being the Hulk, and now it's kind of sidelined to the Hulk being hunted, which we've seen 1,000,001 times. I'd rather see one shots with the Hulk or like little small arcs of the Hulk doing like saving the day or whatever, but maybe there's like a horror reason behind it. Like, I don't know. I don't want to see the same Hulk tropes that we've seen in the last 60 years. Like, I thought that this would be a chance to tell something new and exciting, and it's like, besides Sasquatch fighting Hulk, and I get it, Hulk's like such a powerful character, you need someone to be able to compete with him, but still, what this book was premised to be, it is kind of derailing from that.
Well, I think what makes a good book for Hulk, though, is the fragility of Bruce. Obviously, the Hulk can take a hit, he can get cut into pieces, he can heal it up from there, but it's nice to see Bruce struggle, or even to see the Hulk struggle with being this unstoppable beast. And maybe Hulk doesn't want to, I don't know, this is one of those books that the moment you two tell me you've dropped it, I'm just going to instantly be done with it, because I don't care anymore. It stopped being what we were told it was going to be. And so as every issue we get now, I just feel like we're being lied to.
I didn't like the last issue, but I think before that it did good enough that I'll stay on it for a little bit more. But we'll see. If this issue's returned to form, then I'll stay on it. If not, if we're going down that rabbit hole of what we got the last issue, which if you listen to that episode, you say here that I did not enjoy. You're right. I might cut it loose. I cut stuff loose early, so it's on the chopping block. Marvel Knights, speaking of cutting loose, Marvel Knights number 2 of 6, Matthew Rosenberg, Donny Cates, Nico Harachan, Jeff Shaw on the cover. Really? It's Jeff Shaw? This looks like Jeff Shaw. And Celebration, well, you know what this is about. All right, so this is like an alternate universe. Blind man wakes up. It turns out to be Daredevil. And here's the thing about this book. Spoilers if you didn't read the first issue. And spoilers if you didn't hear our episode. I did not like the whole thing. But that ending is a 10 out of 10 every day of the week. So I got to pick up number 2, right? What do you think, Alex?
I'm the wrong one to ask. I actually kind of enjoyed the first part of the book. The big reveal at the end was an amazing reveal.
No, 10 out of 10. Huh?
I would give that a 10 out of 10. The whole book as of right now, probably an 8. But I like the first half. I'm actually kind of excited to see the Punisher driving around town with Bruce Banner looking for these other people, and then to watch a whiny Kingpin.
Alex, Garrett liked it too, right?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that's the point of Marvel Knights. It's not your typical Marvel universe, and it's doing something new that I've never seen before. I've seen maybe in DC Comics, but I haven't seen like the entire Marvel universe kind of forget itself. And this is them finding who they are again, and whatever huge plot point gets revealed in this storyline. Definitely excited to check it out.
There you go, Marvel Knights. We'll see how it goes. At least it's a mini. We'll see how it goes. Punisher number 4. This is Matthew Rosenberg, Simon Kondransky. Who is still getting this book? Is it Alex or Garrett? Keep forgetting.
Just me. And
what do you think, Punisher?
So issue 1 was garbage. Issue 2 was amazing. Issue 3 was a filler for Daredevil, I think just because the new season came out. And so they spent the whole time Daredevil telling Frank that, no, you're not going to kill people. And then Frank's killing people. It's like, if this was a different superhero team up, Frank never would have gotten away with killing anybody. But all Daredevil did was kind of whine the whole time, and then he got tricked Punisher into getting caught. So now Punisher got caught by the cops or the feds or whomever the hell got a hold of him. And so that's where we're going to go now. It's good, but it's just, I don't know. I think I missed the old War Machine Punisher.
Hell yeah.
Web of Venom, Carnage Born number 1. This is Donny Cates. Danilo Bayruth joined Donny Cates as he continues to snake his tendrils through the Venom's mythos, this time visiting the sickening sociopath called Carnage, a cruel cannibal obsessed with death and murder. A few mourn Cletus Cassidy as he seemingly died and venomized, but now a cult devoted to the madman has gathered, hoping to resurrect their fallen idol and return his madness to the Marvel Universe. Garrett, are you getting this book?
Yes, because it ties in directly to Venom.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, but I'm not sure if it's enough for me to get. You're going to get though.
Did you read the last issue of Venom?
Not yet.
Then you need to read it.
Yeah, I would get this issue. I'm telling you, so you're going to be missing out on some big part of the story.
I think this is a one shot, right?
Yeah, it's only a one shot.
Then as for me, I would get it. It's going to fill those few little bubbles that you're going to want to know later down the Venom hole. That sounds weird.
Well, I mean, for what Donny Cates has done to Venom so far, he's definitely going to be doing something very similar to Carnage. So, yeah, I'm excited for it for sure, especially after the cliffhanger of last issue.
West Coast Avengers number 4. This is Kelly Thompson, Stefano Caselli. If the team thought a 50-foot woman version of Tigra was trouble, just wait until they get their load on her friends. That's right, it's Close Encounters of the Very Large and Destructive Kind, as the West Coast Avengers tried to save the day from B-movie size threats, size threats roaming Los Angeles. And while her team takes a direct approach, Kate Bishop finds herself in a compromising position when trying to get ahead of the game. Is she going to end up on the wrong side of this battle? Alex, West Coast Avengers, how's it going so far? And also, is this book a cover a 10 out of 10 just because it has Pizza Dog right in front?
One, Pizza Dog, if he's in every issue, it'd be a 10 out of 10. That is one of the best characters ever made.
Did I miss an issue? What happened to his eye?
Issue 3 of West Coast Avengers, I loved. It was so good, so much fun. I'm actually super amped for issue 4. I was a little weary with issue 1 and 2, thought this book was going to be just campy all the way through. I finally embraced the campiness and just had fun reading it.
I completely agree. It's a fun team book. Has nothing to do with any of the other Avengers. Like, it's its own contained story, and it is so much fun. The art's good. The story is really good. And, Kelly Thompson is really if you thought this book wouldn't have as much Hawkeye in it, it'd be kind of an equal parts of Hawkeye throughout this team. No, very much so are Clint Barton and Kate Bishop. Yeah, it's Hawkeye plus the West Coast Avengers. It should be called like Hawkeye and the West Coast Avengers because it's very much about Kate Bishop.
Black Badge number 4. This is Matt Kint and Tyler Jenkins. I don't see any information on the solicit here. Gary, what do you think? Black Badge.
What a fun story! A Black Ops gang of Boy Scouts basically doing mercenary missions. It doesn't get better than that. We just got to the camp last issue, and it kind of showed where their training facilities were, like where it's just so much fun. And I got to give it to Matt Kint for coming up with these really fun, creative, original ideas, like he did with Department H. I definitely recommend everyone read this. This is one that you don't need to know much knowledge about comics at all. You could definitely jump in on this. And the concept is just like, how has no one thought of that until now? It's like G.I. Joe, but better.
There we go. Those are the comics this week that are coming out. Alex, what do you think? What looks like going to be your pick this week?
I think the one I'm most excited for is an Image new number 1, Middle West by Scotty Young. This is a book that I had seen about 2 months ago, and I'm super excited to get it. I'm excited to read it. I know that Scotty knows how to write funny, but it's not always having to be hilarious like his Deadpool. He knows how to tell a story and to give you those laughs. After reading I Hate Fairyland, that is probably one of my favorite series that had come out. He knows how to write a book, and I'm super amped to be getting another one from him.
Garrett, what do you think?
I think I'm going to go with Injustice 2 Annual 2, which is the end of the series. It's been one of my favorite reads probably over the last, 9 years, and it's going to be sad to see it go. But hey, I know they'll make it Injustice 3, and I'll get another comic to come back. But for now, it's going to be sad to see it go.
And this time, Tom Taylor stayed on the whole thing, right? Last time he left a little early, and Brian Buccellato wrote the rest.
Right. Yep. It was Tom Taylor the whole time.
But
Tom Taylor stayed on the first 2 years, I believe, on 2 or 3 years on Injustice 1.
My pick this week, the thing I'm looking forward to the most, American Carnage number 1, Brian Hill. Here we go. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said before, some of these Vertigo books look like they're pretty awesome coming out. And so I am curious to see how this one will go. But I am really looking forward to a crime book, especially from Brian Hill. So, and I really want to go back and read Postal from Garrett's recommendation. But
so good.
Alex, what do you think? What's the weather look like? Like I said, a little cold today. Actually, I wasn't outside today. I didn't know. But last week a little cold. Actually, no, I went outside just right now. 16 degrees. A little chilly. What's up with that?
You know, the weird thing is, this is what fall weather is. It can be negative 12 degrees with that wind chill, and then the next day it can be 60 degrees and beautiful. That's what we're going to get these next 2 days. We're going to get some nice weather. It's going to be some sunniness. When you're out eating turkey at your grandmother's or your aunt's or your sister's or your dad's or whomever's house you're at, you're going to be like, wow, look at that beautiful sunlight. It's 55. It feels like it's 80. I'm just going to wear my tank top. I'll eat my turkey and my jams and my corn. Of course, there's Marvin eating that corn. You're going to enjoy it. Then come Friday, when you're out Black Friday shopping, you're going to freeze your ass off because it's going to be snowing. So wear your coat. Alex,
that's a little spoilers that we haven't revealed that episode yet. So, Garrett, what about them roads? What they looking like?
Decent amount of books coming out this week. I don't think it's one of those grade AA have to get to the shop right away kind of weeks, but it's definitely one that there's some good picks out there that you should get pretty early, and definitely a good time to read them on Thanksgiving. So, because when you're with your family, we all know you need a break from them. So read those comics.
Alex, not to call you out here, but I see 46 tomorrow. And then 47 on Thanksgiving, 47 on Black Friday. You said it was going to snow. Is it snow when it's 47? I'm not weatherman.
You know what? It can snow. Have you seen the weather? It can just do whatever the hell it wants.
Speaking of Thanksgiving,
it makes up its own rules.
This week, we will not have a normal show on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, another reason to ignore your family, a podcast special episode will come out where we eat some hot wings, and believe me, we do. And play a little game, and then we do our top 5 things we're thankful for in comics this week, and then next week we return with a brand new episode of the Wednesday Comics podcast. So make sure to listen to that at Thanksgiving. Also, go to our Twitter page and our Facebook page. That's at Wednesday Comics on Twitter, facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. If you want to buy merchandise from Wednesday Comics, will be on sale Black Friday. We're having a sale, so go ahead and go there. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet, but pay attention to those social media feeds, and I'll tweet out how much it is, how much off. So another, it's a great week. Once again, going to show up at Thanksgiving, going to have some corn, as Alex said. That's spoilers. That's from Thanksgiving episode. And
I'm pretty sure you said it on the last episode that just came out. No, that you talked about it. You foreshadowed.
I didn't talk about corn. But tell you what, you know what they say about corn, right? Corn today, hot tamale. My name is Marvin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Keep reading those books.